Welcome to another episode of Legacy of a Soap Star.
It's great to be here. And today we're talking about someone whose career isn't just long, it's foundational to two completely different, eras of daytime television.
Absolutely. We are diving deep into the incredible legacy of Susan Flannery. And she's an actress whose career path is just fascinating. It's not a straight line at all.
Not in the slightest.
She managed to anchor two of the biggest, longest-running soaps ever. Days of Our Lives, with its kind of classic gritty feel. And then The Bold and the Beautiful, which is all about high fashion, glamour, and opulence.
Right. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack that whole arc. We'll look at her early work, her really surprising success in Hollywood movies.
Oh, yeah. The Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, exactly.
Right.
And then, of course, her decades of just dominating the daytime Emmys. But we also have to talk about something that's maybe even more important. Her work behind the scenes as a fierce advocate for actors.
That dichotomy you mentioned is just so compelling. She starts as Dr. Laura Horton on Days, this moral center of a family dealing with some really heavy, groundbreaking stuff in the 60s and 70s.
And then what a pivot.
A massive pivot. She becomes Stephanie Forrester, this powerful, scheming, glamorous matriarch on B&B. And in between all of that, she has this detour into mainstream Hollywood stardom that, well, it changed everything.
It really did. Okay, so let's unpack this.
To really get Susan Flannery's impact, you have to start with her foundations, right? Where she came from.
Oh, yeah. She was born July 31st, 1943 in Jersey City, New Jersey. And she didn't just stumble into acting. She had a serious academic background. She got her BA from Stevens College back in 1962.
So she came to Hollywood prepared. She was a serious actress from day one.
She was. And you can see it in her early work, which is what really sets her apart from, the typical soap star path. She didn't start in daytime.
No, she started in the big leagues. Primetime TV, movies. She showed this incredible range right out of the gate.
That's such a crucial point. Her very first screen appearance was on Burke's Law in 1963, a detective drama.
Right.
And then she just keeps going across all these genres. She's on Westerns like Death Valley Days.
Yeah.
She does the medical drama thing on Ben Casey.
I saw she even did a 3-episode arc on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Yeah, in 64. So
Yeah.
she's doing sci-fi, Westerns, medical shows. She was a true working actor building a resume.
And it wasn't just TV. She made her big screen debut really early in 1965, a Western called Guns and Diablo.
So she was deliberately building this, multi-genre portfolio. She was making a statement that she couldn't be pigeonholed.
Which makes her move to Days of Our Lives in 1966 so interesting. She arrives not as some newcomer, but as this seasoned pro ready for a really demanding contract role.
And she played that role, Dr. Laura Spencer Horton, for almost a decade, all the way until 1975.
And Dr. Laura wasn't just, a side character. She was absolutely central to the whole concept of the show.
Absolutely. You got to remember, Days only started in 1965. The creators wanted to blend that popular hospital soap idea with a big family saga.
The Hortons.
The Hortons. And Laura, of a doctor married into the main medical family, she was the perfect bridge between those two worlds. She was intelligent, professional, kind of the show's moral compass.
A moral compass that was about to get put through the absolute ringer.
Oh, yeah. And the storylines that happened to her are what really put Days of Our Lives on the map.
Okay, so we have to talk about the big one. The storyline that just exploded in the late 60s and 70s. The drama with Laura, her husband Mickey, and his brother Bill.
That's the one. That story, which ran, get this, from 1968 all the way to 1975.
Wow.
It was the dramatic engine of the entire show. And it centered on this devastating secret trauma that Flannery's character had to endure.
And it involved a really controversial storyline, a traumatic assault by Bill against Laura.
Right. And in a twist that really defined soap drama for years to come, Laura only tells one person, the family patriarch, Dr. Tom Horton.
So the secret just sits there. It's not some quick plot point. It festers for years.
It festers, exactly. And the secret has this incredible weight. It creates all this tension over the parentage of her son, Michael Horton. And when the truth finally comes out,
It causes Mickey to have a complete breakdown.
a complete breakdown. I mean, the ripple effects were massive. And for Flannery, that meant she had to portray this deep, long-held pain and moral conflict for years. It's an incredible acting challenge.
That sounds like unbelievably heavy material for daytime TV back then.
It was groundbreaking. The sources are clear on this, that one storyline, with Flannery at the very center of it, is what pushed Days of Our Lives near the top of the Nielsen ratings.
So her performance literally drove the show's success.
Measurably so. And it gave the show a reputation. In the 70s, critics were calling Days the most daring drama on television. Period.
Not just daytime.
Not just daytime. Because while other shows were doing, simple domestic spats, DOL was exploring things like artificial insemination, even interracial romance.
And Flannery, as Laura, was the emotional anchor for all of it. I just can't imagine the pressure of sustaining a character through that for 8 years.
It must have been immense. But that decade of work, it did not go unnoticed. There's a perfect capstone to her time in Salem.
The Emmy.
The Emmy. In 1975, her last year on the show, she wins the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress. It was this perfect validation of everything she had built right before she made one of the most shocking career moves imaginable.
So she's literally accepting an award for a role she's in the process of leaving behind.
Exactly. It's a powerful moment of transition. She had proven she was a powerhouse in daytime, but her eyes were already on a much, much bigger prize.
Okay, this is where the story just takes this wild, unpredictable turn. Because we see soap stars try to cross over all the time, and it's usually a real struggle.
It's almost always a struggle.
Susan Flannery didn't struggle. She didn't even transition. She rocketed into major Hollywood success.
It wasn't a walk, it was a cannon shot. While that whole Horton storyline is reaching its peak on TV, she's starring in the 1974 disaster film, The Towering Inferno.
And we're not talking about some small indie film here. This was the blockbuster event of the year.
An absolute epic. The cast was just a who's who of Hollywood legends. Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, Faye Dunaway.
All heavy hitters.
Every single one. And there's Susan Flannery as Laurie, holding her own right alongside them.
And the box office was just astronomical.
It was a phenomenon. It was the highest grossing film of 1974 by a mile. I mean, to go from the sets of a soap opera to a global hit of that magnitude, it's almost unheard of.
But she didn't just appear in it. She was recognized for it at the highest levels. This is the part that just blows my mind. She won the Golden Globe for New Star of the Year in 1975.
Think about that. Just let that sink in for a second.
So unbelievable.
In the same calendar year, she wins the Daytime Emmy for playing a tormented doctor on a soap, and the Golden Globes for being a breakout movie star in a blockbuster. For two completely different projects, she instantly became this massive, rare crossover success story.
That dual win must have made her one of the most in-demand actresses in Hollywood. And she was smart about it. She kept that momentum going in prime time.
Precisely. She was all about prestige projects. Her next big thing was the 1976 miniseries, The Money Changers. Again, a huge star-studded affair.
And she got nominated for a Primetime Emmy for that.
A Primetime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series. So now she's conquered daytime, she's conquered film, and she's being recognized as one of the best actresses in primetime television.
She was just operating on a whole different level in the mid-70s.
She really was. She followed that up with another miniseries, Women in White, in 1979. And then maybe her most famous primetime role.
Dallas.
In 1981, during its most popular season, she comes on for an 11-episode arc as Leslie Stewart. She was just moving seamlessly across the entire television landscape.
So by the early 80s, she has a Daytime Emmy, a Golden Globe, a Primetime Emmy nomination. She's a proven star in every format, which leads to the big kind of painful question.
Yeah.
If she had all that momentum, why did that rocket ship of a film career seem to stall? Why did she end up back in daytime a few years later?
And this is where the story gets really complicated, and we have to talk about the harsh realities of 1970s Hollywood.
There's a source for this, right? A memoir.
Yes, a crucial one. It's the 1997 memoir Rita Will by the author Rita Mae Brown, who was a very close friend of Flannery's during that period in Los Angeles.
And what did she observe? Why did Flannery's career hit a wall?
Well, Brown says Flannery had everything. The talent, the looks, the drive. She should have been a massive movie star. But she says Flannery lacked the ability to kiss ass.
So she wouldn't play the political games.
She refused. And that refusal was made so much worse by the industry's view of her personal life. The source notes that during this time, Flannery had a close 8-year relationship with the comedy writer Fannie Flagg. And you have to understand, Hollywood in the 70s was just, it was incredibly rigid about conformity.
And how did that rigid system react to a talented woman who refused to conform?
According to Brown's memoir, it was brutal. Because Flannery didn't marry to play the game, the industry insiders started to label her. The label they used was difficult dyke.
Wow. That's staggering.
And that wasn't just backstage gossip. That was a professional death sentence in that era. It carried this huge negative weight. It directly impacted her career.
So her integrity, both professionally and personally, basically derailed what should have been a long and successful film career.
That's the aha moment right there. Rita Mae Brown uses this stark phrase. She says Flannery's refusal to adopt a bogus heterosexual life cost her everything. Brown even speculates that if it had been the mid-90s, Flannery might have been fine. But in the mid-70s, she believed Flannery had no chance.
It's just a heartbreaking picture of this incredible talent being sidelined by systemic prejudice. The pressure she must have been under.
It explains so much. It explains why an actress with that much proven crossover talent eventually found her way back to daytime television. It's really a testament to her resilience that she walked away from that toxic environment and went on to build an entirely new and arguably even greater legacy.
And that new legacy starts in 1987. She makes this huge return to daytime, not to days, but to an entirely new show, The Bold and the Beautiful. It almost feels like a comeback story.
It absolutely is. And what's so perfect about it is who brought her back. It was the writer, William J. Bell.
This same writer from Days of Our Life?
The very same. He had cast her as Laura Horton 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what she was capable of. He knew her power.
And the role he gives her could not be more different from the tortured Dr. Horton, Stephanie Douglas Forrester, the powerful, rich, formidable matriarch of a fashion empire.
Stephanie Forrester was the show right from the first episode. B&B was meant to be this glamorous, wealthy sister show to The Young and the Restless. And Flannery, as Stephanie, just embodied that old money, couture-draped entitlement. She was an original cast member when it premiered in March 1987.
And she was one of the original core four. That group Flannery as Stephanie, John McCook as her husband Eric, Catherine Kelly Lang as Brooke Logan, and Ron Moss as Ridge Forrester, they were the foundation of that show for decades.
And if you look at the DNA of B&B, the absolute central conflict, the thing that drove the narrative for years and years, was the rivalry between Stephanie Forrester and Brooke Logan.
Oh, it was epic, and it was all about class and morality. Stephanie saw Brooke, who was from the Valley, as this opportunist who was a constant threat to her family and her business.
The war between them was just relentless. Stephanie was trying to protect her kids, her legacy, from Brooke, who was always in a relationship with either Stephanie's ex-husband Eric or her favorite son, Ridge.
It was that classic soap rivalry, like Jill and Catherine on Y&R, but with a modern, glamorous LA twist.
It gave Flannery so much to play with. He was the villain, the schemer, but she was also this fiercely protective mother. The character was so complex.
And to sustain that for so long is incredible, and the quality of her work just never dropped. The industry recognition she got during the second act is just mind-blowing.
Her Emmy dominance in the 2000s was something else. It proved that this transition, this new character, was a total home run.
Lay out that Emmy run for us.
Okay, so she wins the Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress 3 times in just 4 years, 2000, 2002, and 2003.
3 wins.
3 more wins. So you add that to her win from days back in 75, and she's 4-time Lead Actress Emmy winner. And she got a total of 9 nominations just for playing Stephanie.
To win the top award in 2 different centuries for 2 totally different characters on 2 different shows, I mean, that just speaks to her incredible range and power as an actress.
It totally solidified her status as, a titan of the genre. And it wasn't just the Emmys. In 2010, We Love Soaps TV did a ranking of the top 50 soap actresses of all time.
And where did they rank her?
Number 1, she was at the very top of the list. The matriarch of the entire genre.
So after 25 years of defining that show, she finally leaves in 2012. You can't just have a character like that walk off into the sunset.
No, it had to be a huge event. And it was. They gave Stephanie this very emotional, powerful exit storyline where the character dies of lung cancer. It was a permanent end to her contract role.
Although she did come back for a brief appearance.
She did in 2018. Which just shows you that the ghost of Stephanie Forrester still looms over that show, even years after she's gone.
That dual legacy is just incredible. The tragic heroine, Dr. Laura, and the glamorous queen, Stephanie Forrester.
And it was Bill Bell who saw that the same actress could be both. He saw that the woman who could carry all that trauma as Laura was also the woman who could command the screen as this fierce, intelligent, demanding matriarch. That's a legacy.
What's so amazing is that once she landed at B&B, she don't just settle into the role. She used her position to become a force behind the camera, too. She got serious about directing.
She was completely committed to the entire production process. And her directing work wasn't just some, vanity project for a star actress. It was professional, and it was respected by people outside of the daytime world.
And there's proof of that respect, right?
There is. She was nominated for the Directors Guild of America award, the DGA award, twice for her directing on B&B.
Wow, the DGA.
The DGA. In 1995 and 1997, when the DGA recognizes you, it means the best professional directors in the business respect your skill. That's a huge deal.
And she didn't just stick to directing B&B either.
No, she loved the craft. She directed 36 episodes of the web series Venice, the series between 2010 and 2014, and she even directed an episode of the primetime drama The Fosters in 2017.
So she's directing daytime, digital series, primetime.
And don't forget, she also directed an episode of Guiding Light in 2008. She used her platform not as a place to coast, but as a launch pad for a whole other serious, respected career.
But if we're talking about her ultimate legacy, we have to talk about her advocacy work, the work she did for other actors. This, to me, is what makes her a true industry legend.
That is absolutely correct. This is the contribution that will last for generations. She was a very active and powerful member of AFTRA, the Actors Union.
And she had a very specific mission, a problem she wanted to solve.
A huge problem. Her main focus was securing cable rights. And this is the big one, foreign residuals for actors. She fought to make sure that actors got paid when their shows were sold and aired internationally.
And why was that so important, especially for a show like The Bold and the Beautiful?
Because of the show's massive global reach. B&B is consistently called the most watched soap in the world. It airs in hundreds of countries to hundreds of millions of people.
So before her work, the actors who made that show a global hit weren't seeing a dime from all that international success.
For the most part, no. The producers and the networks were making a fortune from global syndication, but the actors' pay was often tied only to the initial U.S. broadcast. Flannery's fight changed the entire economic model for those actors.
She literally changed how actors get paid for their work, ensuring they get a piece of the global pie that they helped create. That's an incredible legacy, one that financially supports countless people to this day.
It's a testament to her integrity, that same uncompromising nature that got her labeled difficult in 1970s Hollywood. She turned around and used that same toughness to fight for the rights of her colleagues.
Which brings us back full circle to her personal life. We mentioned she has an adopted daughter, Blaze, and we talked about her close 8-year relationship with Fannie Flagg.
And it's important to revisit that because it just underscores her authenticity. When Hollywood was demanding she live a bogus heterosexual life, as Rita Mae Brown put it, she refused, and she paid a huge professional price for it. But she chose to live honestly.
She navigated all that pressure, chose her integrity over stardom, and then built a second, even bigger kingdom for herself in daytime, winning more Emmys and, maybe most importantly, using her power to create economic fairness for everyone around her.
She used her power for systemic change. That makes her a true leader in every sense of the word.
So when you put it all together, what does this incredible career mean? This deep dive shows that Susan Flannery's work is just a masterclass in versatility, in resilience, and in pure, uncut integrity. She went from the gritty drama of Days to winning a Golden Globe for a blockbuster film. She weathered the nasty politics of Hollywood and came back to define a whole new era of daytime as Stephanie Forrester.
And her impact goes so far beyond what we saw on screen. I mean, how many stars have so profoundly shaped two completely different soap universes? But then, on top of that, to also change the business itself, to fight for and win foreign residuals for actors. That's her true legacy. It affects people's lives every single day.
A career built on incredible talent and an even more incredible conviction.
Absolutely. She earned her place in history, both in front of the camera and, I think, even more powerfully, as a fierce advocate behind it.
Just fascinating stuff. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into the extraordinary legacy of Susan Flannery. We really hope you feel you have a better understanding now of her incredible career and her contributions.
Yes, she was one of a kind.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We always want to know, what soap star should we dive into next time?